Smith, broadcasting from Sherry's Executive Lounge. Powerful conversations. The Power Table Podcast is the vibe, y'all. Hey, it's the vibe. It's the vibe. Follow us at Power Table Podcast on all social media platforms. Yeah. Hey, let's go.
What's going on? Hey, it's another one, y'all. It's another one. We are happy to be here to participate one more time in the Power Table Podcast. You know what? I'm glad to be here once again. I'm here with Dr. Chuck.
Man, what's going on?
What's up, man?
The way you did that intro was way too boring, man.
Oh, man.
We got to liven that up, man.
We got to liven it up.
I'm glad y'all locked in for this one, man, because we about to do something great for you, man. We about to compare and contrast rich and wealth. We're going right back to the bondage thing. We're coming out of slavery. We're coming out of Egypt. We're using all those metaphorical isms and symbolic isms to kind of take a look at where we're at in the grand scheme of things. We're using the Word of God. We're also using everyday application so you can kind of see it, see where you are, and just move forward. I'm excited about this one, man.
Absolutely excited.
Look at that. We got an audience, man. We got B&G sitting at the table with us.
Yeah.
Brian, y'all ready?
Brian's here. We see, oh, man, we got Penguin. We see you over there.
We see you looking.
All right.
I see Lil John.
Hey, Kev. We got
Lil John
here, y'all. We just doing our thing here. I'm just glad to be here, man.
We got to
go ahead and liven this thing up.
Well, give a shout out to Jason.
Jason.
Where's he at? Where's he at?
He's here, and he's the owner of Sherry's Executive Lounge.
Yeah.
Let me let you all know something. You want to let your hair down?
Yeah.
If you want to go ahead and just kick back, have good conversation.
Yeah.
Sometimes we even have good live music here.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you all know, this is the place to be.
It is.
I'm letting you all know, it is nothing that nobody's going to judge you. There's no judgment behind this. This is just a place for you to be grown.
And kind of come and unwind, right, and enjoy yourself with a steak, a drink.
Yeah.
It's a good spot, a good vibe. Enough on Jay. Let's get into this thing, man.
Let's get right
Get
into
my
it.
toast because we starting out as friends.
And it's starting out as
We start out sometimes
right,
the road kind of divide.
All
So
right.
I'm gonna start with a question before we dive in deep, right?
Go ahead.
Al, would you rather be rich or wealthy?
Well, my answer is very sure. I will be wealthy because it's something that I can pass down generation to a generation.
I'm so glad he said that. I really am because it took your generation and maybe one prior to yours to truly understand wealth. We haven't understood within our community, specifically those who look like me, the power of wealth. We're so used to that term they call nigger rich, that as soon as we get our hands on a couple of dollars, we're buying Rolexes, we're buying houses, we're buying cars, but we don't have that long-term substance, right?
We don't have it.
So we're going to look at this from a historical perspective, absolutely, a sociological one when it comes to us as people of color, and then in that thing on something a little bit entertaining, just in terms of understanding the difference between wealth and riches.
We have to understand the difference because it is a stark difference when
It
it
is.
comes down to wealth and being rich.
Right.
Being rich, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That is a temporary scenario.
Right.
But wealth can be passed down from generation to generation.
In fact, I took the time to look up both those words because I thought by providing the foundation of a definition, it'll help our viewers kind of get an idea within context what we're talking about and where that separation is.
Right.
Rich is defined by having substance,
Substance.
enormous substance, and enough to last you a lifetime.
Wow.
But it is driven by your ability to have it continue to come from an outside source. So to be rich means that you have an abundant amount of resource, enough for a lifetime, but it's dependent upon a flow of an external flow, something that does not come internal. Difference between external and internal is a company or a friend or someone else has given it to me, versus internal, where the source is my own assets, and understanding assets versus liabilities.
Right.
But to have wealth
That's a totally different
is
story.
defined by having long-term long-term financial security beyond your lifetime into a generational pattern that comes internal. I used to say this to my kids all the time. I said, my babies were like, Dad, I want to buy a car. I'd say to them, baby, does a car make money or does a car cost you money? So they had to think about it. I said, because if you can understand the difference between the two, you'll see the differences between an asset and a liability.
Right.
Assets make you money. Liabilities cost you money.
That's right.
And I would tell my babies, always let your assets be what fuels your liabilities.
That's right.
So if you don't have an asset that can pay for your liability, don't buy the liability.
Wow.
So my dad, my baby was like, Dad, when can I buy a car? As soon as you invest enough in stocks or develop your own business to where it's paying for your liabilities.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and mention some things because you know what? Especially in our community, we have this lack.
Okay, we're going there. We're going there. Yes, sir.
And this lack is it's a big lack. One of the big things that I've seen, especially in our community, is we don't own nothing.
No, we don't.
We don't own a thing. Now check this out, Chuck.
Come on.
I'm gonna put it out here for you so everybody can
Because
understand.
once you do that, we're going back a little bit. Because there's a why to it.
It is.
I'm going to show you the why. Keep going.
I'm gonna go ahead and ride that horse too. Check this out. What we're gonna do is we gotta look at what we have. If you are renting a home, it's not because you don't have to rent, but you're renting a home. Guess what? You cannot pass down the lease.
Can't pass down rents. Can't pass down leases.
I'm gonna give you a
But you can pass down home ownership.
Sure can. I'm gonna give you some statistics, a very, very big one. 45%, I'm gonna go ahead and say that again, that number again. 45% of the population of the black people here in America rent.
Yes. Rent or lease.
I'm sorry, I messed that up. They own a home.
45% own?
Own.
Okay.
Now, on the flip side, 75% of the white population own.
Even if it's a trailer,
Right.
they still own it.
Check this out. What a stark difference.
It's huge. It's
That's
huge.
a 30% difference.
It's
right
huge.
there. Now check this out. When you're looking at the difference between somebody owning and renting, you have a wealth gap that's
There
there.
is a wealth gap.
It's a big wealth gap.
There is a wealth
And you know
gap.
what? Because of how society is being ran today, there has been a different movement. And I'm gonna let you talk, but I have to put this out. There has been a movement that has been going on, and it's been going on under our noses because we have been what you call that smoke screen from everything else that was going on.
Hoodwinked.
Yes.
Led astray.
There's
Run 'em up.
Check this out.
Bamboozle.
Led astray, right? There's a construction movement of ethno-geographic nationalist people. They have this community that they already started building in my home state of Arkansas.
Wow.
This is what they're doing, okay? It's for whites only
In Arkansas?
in Arkansas. You're not gonna believe this, y'all. This membership-driven plot is for those who only have European descent.
Why are they doing that, Al?
I'm gonna show you why. The residents, they must sign an agreement that opposes, here it is, multiculturalism. It opposes interracial marriages, immigration, and guess what? There is no person that cannot be a Christian. Everyone has to be a Christian.
Although they're walking in non-Christ-like territory.
Although they're walking in non-Christ-like characteristics. See, the demand on these 150 acres is so heavy that they're now growing and they're expanding from my home state of Arkansas to, you're gonna guess it, Missouri. And guess what? They're calling this community they're calling this whole community-based program called Return to the Land.
Return to wealth.
And what they're doing with this whole situation here is they're trying to go ahead and redline us. Give us, make a place that is just for them and their own. Newsflash. I'm gonna put it out here. We already been through that. We still going through that. We know how to get over it. crazy situation.
It is. It is. What you've outlined is an example of what various peoples within their own cultural realm are willing to do to protect land and wealth. Let's face it, God's not making any more land.
No.
When it comes to planet Earth, this is what it is. And to understand the difference between rent, lease, and owning when it comes to land and property is important. I just want to transition though for a second and lay a foundation. Can I do that?
Please.
I want to lay a foundation. When I asked the question earlier, when we started out this conversation, I asked Al a critical question.
What's that?
Would you rather have wealth or riches?
Right.
His response was, I'd rather have wealth. But the truth of the matter is, that's the truth for him. The truth of the matter is, many of, going back to that statistic at 45% versus 55%, many of us, and I'm talking about folks that look like me, right? Black Americans, people of color, we don't understand wealth, or at least we act as if we don't understand wealth. If you ask, for example, the common G on the street,
Yeah.
the common cat on the street, the common brother on the street,
Yeah.
what is a McLaren and how much it costs? What is a G-Wagon, how much it costs? They can tell you that.
Wait, all the way down.
They know exactly how much it costs. But if you ask them, Brian, if you ask them how much is Apple stock trading for, they couldn't tell you that.
They choke.
If you ask them what's a good penny stock to take a look at and invest in,
Right.
because it's the next big hit, they can't tell you that.
They don't even know Robert.
If you ask them what is the interest rate on a home currently, when Alan Greenspan, who used to have that position, now under Trump and someone else, when they lower interest rates, what does that mean for you? They can't tell you that, because in their mind that doesn't make sense to them, because they're used to chasing after riches and not wealth.
That's right.
Those things that we talk about, stock options, home ownership, business ownership, allowing your assets to purchase your liabilities, those are things, that's what I call wealth talk. So the question, why don't we understand wealth? And this goes back, yes, now you all know we're on a journey. We started this 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We're using the example of the Israelites in their journey from slavery out of Egypt into a promised land, and all of the things that God the Father taught them while they were in the wilderness.
Right.
And here's what we came to an understanding 2 weeks ago. Anyone that's ever been in slavery needs to have a wilderness experience.
Everybody
Because
has to have
it's
a
in a
wilderness.
wilderness experience that you get deprogrammed.
Yes.
You get rid of the slave mentality. Because you can't take a slave mentality into a place of freedom and ownership. Because if you take a slave mentality into a free land or a land of promise, you'll act like a slave in a land of promise, and you won't realize the power that God has already given you. When you're so used to master,
Right.
when you're so used to the master giving you the food and the bread and the drink and telling you when to work, it's hard to make that transition to creating the job yourself and telling yourself when to go to work. Albeit that most African Americans, most people that look like me, if they're not in business, they know when to go to work based upon what time their job tells them to be there.
Right.
They don't go to work and if their shift starts at 7, they won't show up at 5.
No.
They'll skate at 7:05
Uh-huh.
because they have the mindset of a slave. They have a mindset of having to work for someone else without understanding how to work for themselves. So where does it come from? We're going back to slavery.
It's systemic.
I
It's systemic.
want us to identify the slave mentality.
The slave mentality
Are you ready?
always came from
Are
a
you ready?
slave scenario.
Are you ready?
I'm letting you know.
Why didn't slaves care about life after their death?
Because they couldn't see past.
Why? Why couldn't the slave see past life after death?
Oh, because they didn't know. They didn't want to know.
They didn't want to know.
Yes, because they've been programmed into thinking that they are just a commodity
And what-
and not a person.
A commodity and not a person. And what about their children? Because most folks, when they talk about wealth, they want to leave wealth for their children.
Right.
What about the slave's child? Why didn't the slave think about their child when it came to wealth and trying to create a life for their children after they were gone?
I can give you this example.
Give it to us. 'Cause I've got the biblical answer. Because I know how much you like the Bible.
You know I do. You know I do. You know I do. Kunta. They tried to go ahead and say, your name is Toby.
Yeah.
No, my name is Kunta.
Right.
No, your name is Toby.
Right.
Whip, my name is Toby.
Right.
Now, Toby, who is Kunta, has his daughter Kizzy getting ready to get taken away from him. What could he do about it? Nothing.
There was nothing he could do about it because biblically,
Yes.
if a slave has a child, that child belongs to the slave owner.
That's right.
Let that settle for a second. Let our
I'm glad you
let
said
our
that.
viewership catch up with that. So as far as the slave was concerned, any child they would have, based upon the woman that the slave master gave to him to procreate with nice hips, nice chest, nice shoulders,
Yes.
to create the optimum commodity,
Commodity.
the optimum slave. That man who was a slave went into that family building situation realizing that was not going to be his son. That was not going to be his daughter.
Right.
That child would belong to the slave owner. So what incentive do I have as a slave to save any money up after I leave this earth if I know the children that I actually have aren't even mine?
There is no incentive.
There is no incentive for me to think about wealth because I'm being programmed to think about now. Are you following? I
hope that everybody is
Do you see
following.
that?
It's big.
See, if my slave master takes my children, then he also took my future.
Right?
If my slave master takes my children, he also took whatever hope I have to create wealth after I leave.
Let me go ahead and
Which
ask
means
you on
I
that.
die with what I have,
Let me ask
with
you-
nothing to pass down.
That is identity, ladies and gentlemen. The slave master took who you are, therefore, due to the fact that you don't know who you are, what's the point? Wow.
What's the point? And why even begin to try to understand wealth or ownership if my life is only as good as I'm alive as a slave? So it's transitional.
Yeah.
It continues to show its ugly head from one generation to the next. Because I've been programmed as a slave not to worry about children because they're not mine.
Right.
Once I have the child, it belongs to the slave master. So what good is it for me to save up money? What good is it for me to have an investment? Even if I could have an investment, who's it going to go to when I die? If I program a generation of people to think that way, and then when I free them, I turn them loose and see they're free, they still have the same mentality they had when they were enslaved. So they're not thinking about interest rates. They're not thinking about the land as wealth. In fact, that's why it was so easy for people that looked as we do coming out of slavery just to give up their 40 acres and a mule and go up north and establish ghettos, because acreage to them meant work. Acres to them meant degradation.
Yes.
Acres to them meant enslavement. Acres, they couldn't see how acres equated to financial wealth.
That's right.
Do you realize that the entire, look this up, ladies and gentlemen, the entire property that Atlanta Hartsfield Airport sits on, all 450 acres and beyond, that Hartsfield Atlanta proper sits on, the busiest airport in the world,
Yes.
at one point was owned by slaves.
That's almost like a mic drop.
If they had held on to that, what would be their net value?
That's right. Well, I can give you an example.
And there's a lot more than that.
I give you an example. My family, the Owens family. I'm a Owens on my on down the line on my father's side. We own, I think it's 730 acres of rice land that we're currently renting to Riceland Rice.
Wow.
In that family trust, I've been made a trustee on that. Do you know that the sharecroppers of my family, the Owens family, this is my great, I don't know how many other great grandfather, he decided to be a sharecropper, and he had this epiphany. He had the switch.
Yeah.
He turned from being a person that thought that land was worthless to a person to say, I can pass this down.
Generationally.
And he did that.
And the primary reason for that initial thinking that the land would be not valuable or not worthy is because it stemmed from a mentality that was passed, not passed, but that we kind of gravitated toward because we were used to being slaves.
Yes.
We needed, as a people of color, we needed a wilderness
Yes.
where God could take the slave mentality out of us
Yes.
and put his spirit of prosperity and his spirit of creation that he put in us from the beginning. There's nothing more dangerous to not knowing what you have in you. Here's the example I gave one group. I said, how much sense does it make for a man that has 15 billion in the bank to go and beg for $5?
It don't.
It doesn't unless he doesn't realize he has 15 billion in the bank.
That makes sense.
We don't realize the power and creation that we have. And I hear it all the time. Oh, blacks, y'all make all of these excuses. Don't you see how our Cuban or Latino brothers or our Irish brothers, they come into this country and they automatically become wealthy. But y'all been here since it started and y'all are still broken. I have to say, time out. They chose to come here. We were brought here.
That's right.
We didn't land on Plymouth Rock.
Plymouth Rock landed on us.
And the power behind understanding that is a different in mindset. See, power is in your mind.
Yes.
It's not in your bank account. So if I've been programmed to think a certain way, so the focus for me is all about sexuality. It's about the hips of a woman.
Yes.
It's about the breasts of a woman.
Yes.
It's not about investments because I wasn't trained to think that way. So now, if I have a Rolex and a Mercedes and I live in the hood, I'm making it.
Do you know that's what we focus on now?
Yes.
We focus on the butt, the hips, and the breast and the fingertips.
We talked about
but we don't focus on how we can make our children that we procreate with the hips, tips,
Yes.
and fingertips.
You know what, Al, there's nothing more frustrating than having a conversation with someone that's programmed to think about rich when you're trying to talk to them about wealth.
I mean,
Because it's like two heavyweight fighters that both want to win a fight, and neither wants to come off their pride or arrogance or their mindset enough to realize there's a difference in thinking about riches versus thinking about wealth. And it's unfortunate, that's exactly where we are here in North America. Most of us don't understand wealth. I don't blame my brothers and sisters, but I do want them to be empowered to retrain themselves and understand you can begin to see wealth as the most important thing. Stop spending your money on things that are going to that aren't going to make you money. Stop worrying about gold and platinum and this car, and a Porsche or this house. Take that same money, get a Toyota that runs forever, invest your money in your property, and pass that down to your children.
look, Warren Buffett still drives his Honda.
I know, I heard about that. Yep,
Lives in the same house that he grew up in.
yep,
Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? He is the richest man in North America.
yep. I worked for, as you know, I worked for Walmart Corporation for about 10 years as a regional general manager. And we went to Bentonville, Arkansas. That's the headquarters for Walmart. And we go to Bentonville to have regional GM meetings, annual GM and VP meetings. And as part of the regional or the GM conference, they took the GMs out to see where Sam Walton's initial home was. When Sam Walton became the wealthiest man in the world, people from all of these news magazines came to his home. When they got to his home, because they wanted to find out firsthand how he felt, because based upon that time's current, he was the wealthiest man in the world.
Wow.
When he showed up, he was sitting on the front porch with his wife Ellen. And the same house, this very same house, they purchased when he first got out the army, when he first got out the military. Nice little 4-bedroom, 2-bath ranch out in Arkansas. And when they showed up, just outside of Rogersville, when they showed up, they said, so now that you are the wealthiest man in the world, Mr. Walton, do you plan on buying a new car? Because he had an old 1977 Ford F-150.
Yeah.
They said, you're going to buy yourself a new truck? He looked right at him and they got him quoted. He said, I don't think so. My dog's used to that truck. I think we're fine just what we have. When he passed away, they took where he passed away. They took us to his cemetery.
Yeah.
You think it'd be something elaborate for the wealthiest man in the world? Just 2 blocks in the ground for him and Helen.
Wow.
That was it. Because he understood wealth. He also understood that riches didn't have him. He had riches. And he could manipulate the riches to create long-term wealth.
Wow. Look.
That type of thinking for us as brown people, we just don't seem to see it and get it. Again, a lot of that is because of what transformed for us coming out of slavery.
Look, everybody, this is the Power Table Podcast. We're talking about real issues, real situations, and things that is going to go ahead and be applicable to your very life.
Absolutely.
We are actually talking about how you can go ahead and leave something, here it is, to your children's children.
So since you brought it up, let's ask.
We are going to go ahead and put it out.
I think we've laid a good foundation.
Yeah.
I think we understand how we got the mindset of rich versus wealth.
Yeah.
So the next question, right along lines of what you just brought up, is how do we change the mindset?
How do we change?
How do we change? Where do we start? Where do we start? You know what? I'd like to start with a story. Can I start with a short story?
Go ahead.
It's a real short story.
Chuck is going to give us
Stop. I was 20 years old, and I just finished college, and I responded to an ad in the paper. A man wanted to put out to tutor and mentor and provide internship for people who wanted to learn about money and flip houses. It was an article in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. I dialed the number.
Okay.
The guy answered the phone. He invited me out to his house.
Yeah.
I hopped in my Subaru.
Uh-huh.
I drove all the way out to Buckhead, Roswell, Georgia, just north of Atlanta.
Hold on, we got to back up. You
Really,
said a
Bucky?
Subaru. You said a Subaru.
Bro, it was a Subaru.
I had to go ahead.
It was
I
a
had to back up.
1979 Subaru GL.
This guy.
My father was thrifty. When I pulled up at his home,
Uh-huh.
I'd never seen a home like that before. Not at that time. It was gorgeous. I knocked on the door. I was kind of nervous. I had on a sports jacket and a tie with some slacks on.
Yeah.
Guy comes to the door, looks at me. He said, "Are you Charles?" I said, "Yes, sir, I am." He said, "Come right on in." He walked me upstairs to a second part of his home with a whole back wall with nothing but a glass window. The biggest window I'd ever seen in a house.
Wow.
And you could see out into his backyard. He had a stream running through his backyard. It was so beautiful.
Yeah.
He sat down, and over the next 6 weeks, he taught me how to invest money, how to flip homes, how to invest in property.
Wow.
I was like in week 1, and my eyes were just so open, and I was like, well, how can there be enough money? Because he was trying to help me understand that when it comes to money in this country, anyone can be a millionaire if they want to. So I challenged it. I was like, how can anyone be? There's only a limited amount of resources. He looked at me and said, "Charles, you know what your people's problem is?"
No,
Now,
he said-
I could have taken offense to it. Come on, Kim. Come on, Kim. I could have taken offense to it. But instead, I had enough humility just to shut up and listen.
Wow.
Because I was actually insulted. I said, "Well, no, sir. What are my people's problem?" He said, "Your people don't understand that there's no ceiling."
Wow.
And because-
no ceiling.
He said, "Because
That's a pause moment. We got to pause right there because no ceiling.
he said there's no ceiling. It's not glass. There's nothing there."
Wow.
He said, "But because your people believe there's a ceiling, you'll never have more than enough.
Wow.
You'll always struggle because you think you're capped.
Wow.
And there is no cap." He took it a step further. He said, "Here's what I'm going to do for you." He gave me land with a trailer park on it that he owned.
Really?
And the people, he was their mortgage lender. And the people that lived in the trailer park were paying him every month.
Uh-huh.
He said, "I'm going to give you the deed to both the trailer park and the home."
Wow.
He said, "All I want you to do is sell the first 10 years of the mortgage." He said, "If you sell the first 10 years of the mortgage, every penny you make off of it is yours."
Wow.
I didn't realize what I had. I'm trying to explain this to a studio audience that might not get this. What this man gave me was somebody's mortgage. It was a 30-year mortgage on a fixed interest rate that he owned. He gave the entire thing to me, the first 10 years of it, and said simply sell the first 10 years of this mortgage. You can sell it to a bank. He said you can sell it to a person, to any institution, and whatever you make off this 10 years is yours.
Wow.
It was valued at over 125, 200, 250, $120,000 and just the first 10 years.
That's not chump change.
He said, here's the only caveat. You got 3 weeks.
Wow.
So I took the deed, I left this house, and everything he taught me, and I went to everyone I knew. I was cutting deals and breaks. I was like, look, if you just buy the first 5, I'll finance you the back 5. I was doing everything I could to sell the first 10 years of this person's mortgage. Now, mind you, I never knew who the people were that lived in the trailer.
Oh.
I know who the people were that were paying their bill every month. And that's the same thing that happens to us that pay. We don't know who's holding our mortgage. Your mortgage company can send you a letter tomorrow and let you know we sold your mortgage to someone else.
Yeah.
You'll be paying them now.
Uh-huh.
At the end of 3 weeks, I came
Shout out
back.
to Wells Fargo.
At the
You ain't lying.
at the end of 3 weeks, bro, and this hurts me to my heart. I came back to him. I couldn't sell it.
Wow.
And he looked at me. He took the deed back from me. He said, I knew you wouldn't sell it. And I asked him why. This is key. Rich versus wealth. I said, why couldn't I sell it? He said, because you tried to go back to the same circle you were in.
Oh. Oh.
I had to let that sit for a second.
I mean, we
Because
all
Rich,
sit on that.
because I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I'm gonna say it. Don't hit me. In fact, I'm gonna run and take and get off the camera and come back to give you a chance not to be mad at me long. Are y'all ready for this?
Go ahead.
Back my seat up a little bit.
Keep
Y'all ready?
backing your seat up a
I have
little
to. Because rich people hang out with rich people.
That's right.
Rich people don't hang out with wealthy people because they don't understand them.
Right.
Rich people don't hang out with wealthy people because they don't understand them. It's hard to change a person's mind. When they are set on that Rolex and they're working for that Rolex, their end state is that Rolex.
Right.
When they're set on getting that piece of butt and that piece of butt is all they want, then that's what they're going to go
That's all
after.
they gonna go after.
You cannot train a car to be a truck.
You can't make a. No, I was gonna say
You
it.
can't do it. You might as well go there.
Can't make a whole
Because
house
because we have to understand that sometimes you have to leave what you're familiar with
That part.
to go where you're unfamiliar.
That part.
So you can glean from what's unfamiliar and get more back. If you want to bring that back to what's familiar, that's fine. I mean, my boy Brian here at the table,
Right.
he shared a story with us before we went live. How he was,
Brian.
absolutely, how he was in a business venture with a business partner that did not understand. Sometimes you have to leave to come back.
That's right.
See, we get it, but sometimes we just don't get it. And that man looked at me and he said, Charles, when I gave this to you knowing you wouldn't sell it, because I knew I'm the only wealthy person you know.
Wow.
How mama said, birds of the same feather.
Flock together.
Don't be
He
mad.
just read. He just read. He just read. Come back. Come back. Seriously, this is one of those situations that we really have to understand about. We have to be able to be in a situation where we can understand the difference between wealth and being rich. I look at all the different people that I surround myself around, and I can just give you my own life story concerning this whole situation. I mean, after divorce, let me go ahead and say that one more time, because a lot of people is going through the same situation that I'm going through. After divorce, I found myself hitting every closed door because I kept going around the same people that I was familiar with. And sometimes being familiar, being around the person that you know that you possibly get a deal from is not where you need to go. Sometimes, let me go ahead and say, I'm not trying to go ahead and make this a religious type program.
Yes, you are.
Somebody has to depend on God so God can go ahead and lead you to somebody who understands
Come on, man.
need to be
You know,
at.
while I was running away from my life, I'm glad y'all welcomed me
He
back.
used the bathroom.
Yeah, while I was running away from my life, calm down now. We got to stay in the podcast mode. I was thinking about the exact same thing
Yes.
because wealthy people understand the power of sowing seeds.
Yes.
Wealthy people understand that it's not who you sow, it's not the person you sow the seed to, as much as it is the spiritual father you believe in as you're sowing the seed.
That's
I've
right.
heard so, and you and I both are affiliated with churches, right?
Yes.
I have one in Douglasville, Georgia.
I
You have
have
one
one
here in
here in
Kansas City.
Yes.
And one of the first things one thing I always hear folks say is, I can't tithe into that ministry because I don't believe in that pastor, but I can tithe in your ministry, Pastor Charles. I can't tithe into that church because they're just full of foolishness. I can't tithe to that church because of this, because of that. We don't understand something. And this is what I mean about wealth versus riches. When you sow a seed, you're sowing it unto God.
Right.
So it doesn't matter the fabric of the person you sowed it to. Let God deal with the things they do. Your blessing comes from the seed that you sow. So you won't sow a seed into a church because of their foolishness, but you'll come and buy a bourbon from Jason at Sherry's Executive Lounge.
I'm going to take it a little further. You won't sow a seed in the church that you are scrutinizing, but you will go ahead and buy yourself something that is going to depreciate as soon as you drive off the lot.
And either way, you're sowing the seed. It just depends on what you're receiving as a result.
Right.
But the issue, I don't want my podcast family to get this mixed up. The issue is not the fact that it's a church. It don't have to be a church. It could be a person you don't know that's struggling. It could be the Children's Miracle Network. It could be St. Jude's. It could be the YMCA.
Yes.
The question is, does 10% of what you bring in go to something other than you?
Right?
Let that settle for a second. When you look at your pockets, when you look at what you bring in, when you look at where you work, does 10% of what you bring in go to someone else? And if not, you'll never understand wealth. Because wealth means you must have the understanding. Exodus 16 and 4.
You want me to read it?
You can.
I will.
Exodus 16 and 4. And when he pulls it up, you're going to see.
Exodus
16 and 4.
and 4.
And 4.
This is what the book says.
Read the whole thing. Read read the whole 4 verses, and then I'm going to show you how that equates to wealth.
Oh, 1 through 4?
No, just 4.
Just 4. Here it is. Then said the Lord unto Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no.
Read it again. Same verse.
Then the Lord said unto Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate
A
every day,
certain rate.
that I may prove them whether they walk in my law or no.
He was attempting to prove his children of whether they can understand wealth or not.
Right.
How did you pull that out, Dr. Chuck? Well, I'm glad you asked me.
Okay.
In that voyage,
Did you just take my case?
in that voyage from slavery into the promised land, they stopped in the wilderness and they ran out of food.
Yeah.
In verse 2 of that very same chapter 16, you'll see the children of Israel started complaining.
They murmured.
They murmured against Moses and saying, why would God bring us out here to die of food? There's no food out here. In fact, their exact words were, at least when we were in Egypt, we had enough food and bread that Master gave us.
That's right.
But now we count on God to give us something, and ain't nothing here. And God was like, no, I have a plan for you, but I need you to understand wealth. I want you to understand the spirit that's with you, because when God be for you, who can be against you? Greater is he that is in you. Who? You. Than he that's in the world. So God was trying to show them a very simple principle. If you trust in the spirit I put in you, you can bring food from heaven. It'll rain from heaven. But here's the thing. I'm going to rain manna from heaven, but you can only take a certain amount for the day.
Right.
You can have more than enough there. But I just want you to understand, get enough for today and only today, so I can prove to see if I can trust you with wealth.
crazy.
if I can trust you with riches. Because if you can understand that and realize that what's in me that I'm putting in you is enough for you to live off of forever, one faith day at a time, that's walking in wealth.
You know what? You brought up something, and I'm glad that you had me read the 16th chapter of Exodus. There was something very interesting that kind of stuck out to me and actually railroaded me. In the third verse there, it stated that we sit by the flesh pots.
Yes.
What does that mean? Anybody ever think about we sit by the flesh pots?
Plenty of food.
You are waiting for the leftovers.
Yes. Yes.
And that's the mentality that we have.
You waiting
we
on
want the leftovers.
You waiting on the pig feet and the chitlins and the hog maws. Not realize you got ham waiting for you.
Not realizing that you got an old chicken.
If you're going to go there, I'm going to go here. Not realize you got filet mignon, lobster,
man.
shrimp.
Filet mignon. Here it is, salmon.
But what was he trying to get the children of Israel to see, right, family? What are me and Dr. Al trying to get you to see? That in order for you to understand wealth and the principles that come by living in a land of freedom, you got to get rid of your slave mentality. You got to get rid of thinking that this is all I have and I got to get as much as I can and stuff myself as much as I can and just live off of today because tomorrow I might not have nothing. That is a slave mentality.
It is.
God has put a spirit in you. God has put a spirit in Gladys. God has put a spirit in Brian.
Yes.
That when they wake up in the morning, they can speak, and therefore it is.
It is.
But if they don't realize what's in them, and they walk around thinking that Master's got to give it, they'll never know that they've got $1 billion in the account, and they begging Master for $5.
They begging that. Here it is. They begging. Here it is for the leftovers.
And they've taken that into a promised land, into a freedom, into a free mindset. So now all you're doing is making wealthy people even wealthier. Because you're taking your last bit of money. I forgot what the number was of how much money goes into the gross domestic product of this country, but more money comes in and through our hands than any other this nation. Why do you think so many advertisements are geared toward African Americans? Because they know you're going to spend it. They know you ain't going to save it.
Let me go ahead.
It burns a hole in your pocket.
I'm gonna give you the number. 3 trillion. 3 with a T. Trillion dollars of spending power.
Wow.
It goes through your hands. What does the Bible say? It's like you have holes in your purse.
Yeah. Just straight through.
You can't hold on to it. Now, you got some people that say, hey, you know what? I never seen $1 million. Yes, you have. You just went through your fingers. Right. This thing is critical. Because if we are ever going to see, and nothing made me more excited with two things. One is the article, we got to talk about this probably next week at a time. LeBron James has met with a few other NBA players about starting their own basketball league. Yeah.
Touchdown. 3-pointer.
Yes.
Champion. Because 78% of basketball players in the NBA are people of color.
Guess what?
They're filling up stadiums and putting trillions of dollars in the NBA pockets
right.
where they could go into our own community. Because the same people that go to NBA games are going to go to a new basketball league games because those are the ones that are the human highlight films.
Right.
That excites me. We got to dig into that at some point.
We got to. Because
I went.
What black basketball owner do we have out here?
Not one.
Oh.
Not one. The one we did have. The one that we did have sold his. Michael Jordan sold his interest. But I was at, and this is really, this is my final piece, man. We go back and forth with this. And I'm gonna wear my jersey next week.
What jersey?
I'm about to tell you.
That's all right, good.
I went to Shelbyville, Tennessee. Wait, Jesus, I'm gonna wear this one. I went to Shelbyville, Tennessee. And in Shelbyville, Tennessee, is a rather large distillery called Uncle Nearest.
Oh! Uncle Nearest!
Nearest Green Distillery.
That's
Uncle
right.
Nearest. Now, if you don't know the story of Uncle Nearest,
Right.
it's very intriguing.
It's very.
In the 1860s, Nearest Green was created his own whiskey. I actually asked Brother Jason when I came in. I said, Jason, you got any Uncle Nearest back there? He said, I don't know what Uncle Nearest is. I said, that's going to change.
It's going to change because Uncle Nearest is always in my life.
Nearest Green
Yep.
was the first African American
Yes.
to have his own whiskey distillery.
Uh-huh.
But here's the thing. This will get you. When Nearest Green started, he was just free as a slave. He was making the whiskey as a slave. But a man came along, Sodom, found out what he was doing,
Hello, Jack Daniels.
stole his recipe,
Uh-huh.
and asked Nearest to come work in his distillery that he started with Uncle Nearest's blend to help him with the programming of it, the distillery of it, and the merchandising and get it out. Nearest Green said, I will not do it. But he had the foresight to say, you can use my 2 sons. My sons will come work for you.
Right.
That man who did that, y'all know him as Jack Daniels.
Yes.
Jack Daniels has made multi-billions of dollars off of a blend that wasn't even his. It wasn't his.
What?
And it wasn't until 2014
When his
when a journalist found out the secret and put it out there.
Wow.
Yes. So count the years. At least 80 years went by. I'm sorry. No. From 1864 to 2014.
That is.
Let's do the math on that. Was it 140, 130 years?
Yep.
That this family went without billions that they could have had for something that their great grandfather put together.
Wow.
That slave owners stole from him. He sure did. He sure that they fought it, and there's pictures when you go through the tour, because I took the tour.
You took the
I had to do it. And I took it because I had to taste it. Somebody had to taste it, Kim. Somebody got to taste it, make sure it's good. And I bought a bottle of the 1864, and I still have some of the house.
He still got it out. He still got it. He didn't drink it all up like I do. I drink up all that.
But the fact that those types of things have happened, really, it just kind of it helps me to understand not just the true colors of this country, but understanding how much further we have to go. So we can begin to understand wealth versus being rich. And we have our own capacity. Don't fool yourself. You have the capacity, and it's in you to do anything you want to do. If you can dream it, by faith, you can have it.
That's right.
Now, you can't be lazy.
Can't be.
Right? You can't be pushing stuff to the side. Y'all know how we do it. You can't procrastinate. But if you want to take a step out there, what do we tell John? John works here at Sherry's. He is easily one of the bartender. He is the most talented poet I've ever met in my life.
Shout out to hypocrisy.
And I'm not throwing it out there because it's a Sigma, like my father and my brother. I'm not blue fire. I'm not throwing it out there. If you've ever heard this young man, but here's why, and he's listening right now, so I have no problem saying this. I got to get him to act on faith.
Yeah.
He's got to step out there.
Yeah.
He's got to be willing to do what every other dreamer does and put it all out there and say it's all this or nothing. Because when you do that and you put your faith out there, God will honor that faith and doors will open up.
You know, the crazy thing about it, John came in yesterday and he did a very good set. He told me, hey, I killed the set at the Bruce R. Brocken building. And he said, hey, sold a couple books. And then he was talking about one of the other poets that was with them that was in charge of selling the books. And he said, well, she charged people double. And he said, I don't know what was wrong with her. She had the foresight to see that this right here is needed in someone's life.
Yeah, absolutely. And all we're trying to say to our podcast watchers, and even those that are here at Sherry's today, is we have never had a problem with being talented.
No. Talented.
I am telling you, and again,
We're not sure.
you know that I'm not a racist guy. I'm not, but I do love people of color. We are some of the most talented, some of the most sophisticated, some of the most brilliant, some of the most technological, athletic people in the earth. I'm I'm sick and tired of the world trying to tell us that we can only be athletes and entertainers. There's nothing that people of color can't be. But what we lack, what we've got to be freed from, is that slave mentality.
And that slave mentality is what they feed off of.
Oh,
Let me
my
just go ahead
goodness.
and let you know.
Oh,
That's
my
a whole
goodness.
other segment.
Oh, my
I
goodness.
mean, you know, they're trying to stop. Here it is. They're trying to stop the funding for HBCUs.
Yeah, wow.
PWIs already don't want you in. What does that tell us? They are afraid of you getting everything and the necessary credentials
Yeah.
to get you where you need to go.
Yeah.
And you know what? Because of that fear, that's the reason why they act out.
Yeah.
There's a book from my frat brother, Roland Martin.
Is it Sigma?
No.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry about that.
No.
Hey, I'm glad we told it in the beginning.
No. We're going to go ahead and say it's the first. You know, the thing is, you know, the Sigmas get all the history from us. It's all that. Check this out. Roland Martin, he wrote a book, shout out to Roland Martin, called White Fear. I would suggest everybody to look that book up. It's on all your
Oh, that got him in trouble.
They got him in a lot of trouble. But that is a page turned like a mug, because the reason being, that book actually highlights how great you are. And we want to welcome you to the power table,
Yeah.
so you can go ahead and be a part of this.
Yeah.
It's not just the table here. It's we're talking about actually the table
Come on, man.
where you can go ahead and put aside something for your children.
Come on, man.
Children.
You know what I would love to see, bro?
What's that?
I would love to see every Sunday afternoon at Mama's house table become a power table. You know, everybody go to Mama's on Sunday.
Yeah.
Everybody's Mama's
Bring back
table.
Sunday dinner.
In fact, this is, for those of my faithful watchers, here's your assignment before you come back and see us next week. Come back with at least 5 stocks you would invest in. I'm going to give you 7 days.
Yeah.
Find 5 stocks that you think would be worthy enough to invest in. Understand the process. All right, you do that for me. I'll come back with my 5 next week. You come back with 5 next week?
I'll come back.
Kim's got 5. We're gonna bring him out of the studio.
Okay.
B, Brian's got 5. We're gonna talk about stocks and investing. And don't you dare not show up. Don't you dare say how boring it is. You come anyway. If you can get with the sex talk, you can get with the stocks talk and make yourself some money.
Stock talk too.
Absolutely.
Because this is all about the power
And
table.
talk about it at Mama's house.
Yeah.
That is the power table. That's the original power table.
That's where it started. I mean, I was looking up while you were saying that.
Yes, sir.
I was it's Palantir Technologies. You can probably find it on the S&P. What is it called on there? Come on now. It's PAL. PALT. Right now, their shares is probably what $113 a share. Because of the new administration and how the administration is really trying to set up for security on the infrastructure,
Yes.
their stock is about to go through the roof.
Oh, wow.
I mean, 16
That's the
minutes.
kind of talk we gotta have.
We got to go ahead and really look at things like that. Because you know what? This is something that we have to pay attention to. Pay attention to your environment. And then go look at your Robinhood account. Look at your Merrill Lynch account.
Yes.
Something for us to do.
Yes.
All right, well, we got about 10 more minutes.
Okay, man.
So what you want to go ahead and close out with? Because I'm going to close out.
The biggest thing I want to close out with is this, and it's somewhat of a kind of going back to where we started the conversation to where we are now. We didn't have a reason, kind of coming out of slavery. We didn't have a reason to think about long term. We didn't. Our position as slaves didn't give us a reason. That mindset has been embedded in our brain housing group, in our minds, for years. But now you do. You got a reason to look beyond the G-Wagon. You got a reason to look beyond all of the material things that are kind of out there, so you can begin to understand and have a true conversation about wealth. You deserve more than just being rich. You deserve to be wealthy. You deserve to change your mindset and understand the power of giving, the power of initiative
Yeah.
and the power of seeing things from an economical standpoint, where you are more concerned about the long-term effects of what you purchase than the short-term satisfaction. So I'll close with this. If there's any way possible, begin investing as if you want your assets to buy your liabilities.
Yes.
Understand what a liability is and say within yourself, if I'm not making enough on my assets to purchase a liability, then maybe I don't need that liability. Or whatever liability I have, I'm gonna make sure that it's fiscally responsible. I don't need to pour $80,000 into a car that as soon as I drive off the lot, it's gonna be worth $65,000. I lose $15,000 on a car as soon as I drive it off the lot. If you start thinking like that, my friend, you're winning. When I was 21 years old, 22 years old, I had my first baby. And I went to work for UPS. Now, 22. I'm 54. That was 32 years ago. I invested in stock at UPS. That stock has been paying me dividends for the past 30 years. I get a check from UPS in the mail from a dividend from a stock option I bought when I was 22, and I've been getting that check every quarter for the past 30 years.
Wow.
I've made enough to repurchase that stock that I purchased back then 180 times over.
Wow.
Because I had the foresight, even at 22, to do something. In fact, I put the stock in the name of my children. I'm saying that to say that you can, baby steps, but you can get to a point where you understand the power of the dollars in your pocket and realize that economically and by faith, you can go as strong and go as far as you want to go. Let your assets purchase your liabilities.
And I'm glad that you brought that up, Dr. Chuck. And you know, a lot of people really don't understand what you have, what you need for your family is within. What you need to do is you need to go ahead and pray to your Heavenly Father to reveal that to you. And once you have that revealed to you, now it's up to you to put the work in.
Yeah.
Don't be scared.
Right.
Don't be scared of the work. Don't be scared of letdowns. Don't be scared of the people that is in your immediate circle to tell you that you don't need to do that.
Right.
Because you know what? The minute that you start to listen to everyone that's outside and not paying attention to your Heavenly Father talking to you on the inside,
Yeah.
then you will have a problem where you won't be able to achieve any type of goal.
Right.
And we want to go ahead and make sure that you achieve those goals. Welcome to the power team.
There is no ceiling.
There
There is no glass ceiling.
That's right. So you know what? With that being said, you know what? Hey, next week we're gonna go ahead and continue this thing on. This is going really, really good. I really want everybody to be able to gain what we need to gain, and what you need to gain as far as your family, your family's wealth, your family's portfolio. How you're gonna go ahead and look out for you, not just your children, but your children's children.
And I don't know. I might want to dive back into relationships just a little bit next
Just
week.
a little bit.
Because
I'm gonna hit you up on that.
I need some of these brothers to understand why women aren't attracted to them.
Black men don't cheat.
It's a slave thing.
Yeah.
They made us do it.
So,
Thank you for this, brother.
all right. Cheers to you, bro.
I'll see y'all next week.
All right.
Way to go! Woo! Good.
You.
All right, go ahead, do your thing, man. Do your thing, bro. We sponsored by somebody, right? All right, where's the cigar at, man? Is that one mine or his? I'm not taking a stick. He's got to tell me.
Okay, hey. Dr. A.J. Smith and Dr. Chuck present to you the Power Table Podcast, hosted by Dr. A.J. Smith, and he's partnered with Dr. Chuck, broadcasting from Sherry's Executive Lounge. Powerful conversations. The Power Table Podcast is the vibe, y'all. Hey, it's the vibe. It's the vibe. Follow us at Power Table Podcast on all social media platforms. Yeah.